So CJ, you know that about 2 months ago, Rebecca and I did something new. We rented an RV, you know, and did some glamping in a big freaking RV. So I'm talking motor home,
right?
You know, and it completely new to us. We're not RVers, we're campers, we're not glampers. But we realized when we got into a campsite, hooked everything up, that this is something that we can do.
Yeah.
We want to do this.
Yeah.
We had fun doing it because there's a process involved, you know, set up and all that stuff, cooking outside. So, I mean, we got the bug by going just 2 nights in an RV, and we started shopping while we were at the campsite for an RV. And then you have to kind of do a Venn diagram. Do you want a motor home or do you want a pull behind?
Right.
You know, pros and cons. So, you know, pro with a motor home is everything's contained. You could drive and still be comfortable in the back, that kind of thing.
Right.
But now you have an extra vehicle, and if you want to go somewhere, you have to take the entire home with you. And then we thought, well, tow behind, we have to tow something,
right?
You know, but once you park it, then you have a vehicle.
Right.
We really didn't want another vehicle. So what we did is we started shopping for pull behind, for campers that we could pull behind. And we wanted something, you know, ruggedized, something we could take off-road, something that we could be off-grid with,
sure,
instead of just some pop-up. So Rebecca did most of the shopping, and she found this guy right here. So the Opus is an Australian company, and there's like 3 or 4 dealers in the US. So this thing is ruggedized, it's off-road, it's off-grid. The suspension is ridiculous on it. We could ford rivers in this thing. Literally ford rivers. If the car could make it, this can make it.
Yeah.
So big Tundra, lift kit, no worries.
Right.
And so we started shopping. We found a dealer in Virginia. Went up to Virginia, got a tour of this thing. And we said, yes, this is what we want.
Right.
We want this Opus. So this is an OP15. So we, you know, put our names in the queue to get one of these, and it was just weeks later they had one available. And we went up, got a, you know, a tour of it, got basically a class. Right. This is how you work it. This is how you set it up. And we hooked it up, and then we went right to a campsite on the Roanoke River. Wow. That night. We literally were pulling the plastic off this thing in the campsite, pulling the plastic off of all of it.
Yeah.
But man, this thing is cool as hell.
Now they call these overland.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because you could go overland.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's got residual, so you could hook it up to electric, or you could go totally off grid.
Right.
And live off the solar. We haven't, Rebecca and I haven't tested out how far we can push the solar yet, but apparently, like depending on what you're running, like if we run the fridge, that's gonna suck up a lot of
sure,
the power. But apparently 3 or 4 days, you know, if the sun's out, yeah, you could live off the electrical, cool, you know, in this thing. But it is cool as hell. You know, when we hook it up, it's like towing a marshmallow. It's super, super smooth. There's no oscillation behind you.
Yeah.
You know, you barely know it's there. The cool thing is too, having never towed anything before, and Rebecca kept reminding me, she said, hey, it's the same width as a truck. You know, so when you look in the side view mirrors,
right,
it's the same width as a truck. So if the truck can make it, this can make it.
Sure.
And it's nice and snug. So it's not super far behind you. So you could just look in the side view mirrors, right, and see, you know, if it's narrow roads, no shoulder, that kind of thing. If the truck can make it, this can make it.
So you can tell, I mean, you can tell, I've seen a lot of RVs. You and I have talked about RVs before. Mm-hmm. And you could tell just by the hardware on this thing. I mean, I noticed, you know, we'll talk about what's underneath, because I could see there's some suspension stuff going on there. But you could just tell, even from where the the attachment
Yeah,
is
the
to the
hookup.
truck. That this thing is like, it's more truck-like than it is
Right.
RV,
Yeah.
the typical RV thing.
Yeah, it's pretty badass because like this is all oscillating, the hookup.
Right.
You know, it goes in all directions. I dig this hookup, man. It's freaking real cool. Super easy. I could hook it, one person could hook this up easily because you get it close enough with the rear cams, and then you could just kind of move this into place. You could just jiggle it into place and start lowering it down on the trailer hitch. And then once the trailer hitch is in, just boom, it secures it like that.
No kidding, dude.
Yeah. And you're good to go. You know, you just hook up all the power from, you know, the cable, so that way it's the truck is registering. It's got its own brakes and all that stuff.
Is that a rear camera?
Not. We bought one. We bought a rear camera, wireless, and I'm gonna hook it up.
Yeah, usually they leave something open for you to install one aftermarket, right?
Yep. So, yeah. So I'm gonna hook that rear camera up. We're gonna get jerry cans for extra gas.
Cool.
Because the Tundra's not a gas sipper. And with this behind you,
right.
You know, you could watch that gas needle, that fuel gauge.
Well,
just
gas
drop.
is super cheap now, so.
Oh yeah, gas is super cheap. Yeah, but let me give you a little tour of this.
Man.
So everything's like a camper, you know, raise it, lower it, all this stuff. This one's got an emergency brake, so when you stop, you can just pull the emergency brake.
Okay.
And then it's got stabilizers.
Right.
You know, so I just use a torque wrench to raise it, level it, that kind of thing.
So you are leveling it with that, right?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's not leveled because my driveway's cattywampus, but in a campsite, I'm gonna level it.
Right.
Super easy to do. It's amazing. It's got propane, you know, 2 tanks there, and you could run one or both of them simultaneously.
Okay, so we'll see some grill action here in a minute.
Yep.
But so one of those is connected to, or they're both.
Yep, both connected.
Okay.
Yep. So inside, when we get in there, you can see it's for sleeping and for eating. There's a table and a little dining room.
Right.
But you don't cook in there or anything.
No. Okay.
You don't, because everything's out here. So this is a full refrigerator, and it'll freeze
Dude, look at that.
Yeah. So full fridge, and then you just program it, beep, 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 to the temperature you want.
Yeah.
And it'll keep everything cool. It's got a vent, so on long drives, the compartment will stay cool.
Oh, okay, cool.
And it just barely sips. You know, and that's off of the solar. It'll sip off the solar to keep the compartment cool. And then this will run off the solar while you're driving. It basically runs like a cooler, of course. But it's massive, and there's plenty of space in there. And you could, like I said, you could freeze stuff in there.
Comes out like a body at the morgue.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Rebecca. It comes out like a body at the morgue. Yep. And then over here, we've got a little workspace, just a table, right?
Oh, cool.
We could hook up a TV outside if we want to.
Yeah, man.
Because once again, this is glamping.
Right.
It's not camping.
Right.
It's glamping. I know the difference.
Hey,
I understand.
we're over 50, bro.
Right, we're over 50.
Glamping is good.
I like camping. I'm going next week to the Rocky Mountains into Montana.
Right.
And that's hardcore. This is glamping.
Right.
You got freaking folding chairs and a fire pit, you know, and that kind of stuff. This is all like tools and, you know, the hoses, the electrical cords, all that stuff. And then this is my favorite here.
Woo!
So this is a full.
I know what that is.
Yep. This is a full pull out. Oops. I'm still new to this, as you can see. Full pull out stainless steel kitchen.
Check it out.
And sink.
Damn.
Yep. Full on.
4 burners.
Yep. But that'll come out. This is like a dish rack.
Okay.
You know, so full dish rack right there.
Oh,
Boom.
check it out, dude.
Yep. Sink. So you just hook up the propane right to there. Pull out the drain for the sink, and then we'll catch any water for the drainage in a 5-gallon bucket and just put it into our gray water tank.
Right.
But super freaking cool. And yeah, you could do some cooking on this thing. I mean, Rebecca and I freaking cooked cooking outdoors, you know, when you don't have all of your stuff it's an adventure.
Yeah.
You know, I love the process of thinking, because now what we're new to and what we have to plan on is how can we be most efficient when it comes to cooking outdoors. You know, because we don't want to create a massive mess.
Right.
So how can we do that, you know, most effectively?
So what have you cooked so far?
Well, I've got a Dutch oven in there, and I'll put that on the gas fire pit,
Right.
and I'll make like biscuits in there. Here, everything from full breakfast, you know, to bacon and eggs.
Yeah.
At night, the last meal we made was asparagus, mashed potatoes, and steaks.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
very
all
cool.
on that.
Oh, nice.
So because it's glamping, you know,
Glamping.
we're not eating freaking ramen, bro.
No.
Yeah, we're eating, you know, like kings on this. Yeah.
Right.
But you want to do a little walk around?
Well, let's see. Up top, you got a canopy, right?
Yep, canopy. So real easy to use. I just reach in here, boom. I just put this guy under a mattress, and then.
Right now, I mean, your typical RVs like to motorize things like this.
Right.
So they did this for a reason.
Yeah.
You know.
So the canopy comes out 8 feet.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it comes all the way out, and I don't have 8 feet here, but you can see what I'm saying.
Yeah. So will there be any legs on the front end, or will it be just completely sustained by the frame inside?
Oh no, just by the frame.
Okay.
Yep. And it works well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes way out.
Nice.
Come on, you. Like I said, I'm still new to this thing. Boom. We'll do it inside here in a second.
Right.
Let's tour the outside so I could talk about like some of the setup.
All right. Do you want to see anything? Because that suspension looks pretty wicked.
Oh, that
man.
suspension is badass, man. I don't know if you can get down there and see it,
Let's see
but
if
it's
you can-
independent suspension with swing arms, and you can see it's ruggedized. I mean, it's got like big ass tires on it, yeah, you could really overland this thing. We hit some hard roads on the last camping trip. I mean, some big
Right.
potholes and stuff on this dirt road, and like a champ. No issues.
And a speaker, bro.
Yeah. Speakers on the outside.
How's the sound system?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Of course, you don't want to blow away all the other glampers.
Right. Yeah, all the other glampers.
Whenever you do some serious boondocking, then you can crank up the metal, right?
Yep. Because that's the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go off grid.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool sites online and apps, you know, to kind of guide you to real obscure type of campsites, privately owned property.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. People have property that just sits there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's on a pond or a lake or a river, and it's a minimal fee. It's dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Just to freaking pull into their property.
Right.
You know, you register online, you secure a site, they send you confirmation, and you pull onto their property and you glamp.
That's easy money for them, man. Holy crap.
Yep.
All right.
So the setup is real cool.
Oh.
You can see on the outside.
What's the length without the?
It's 15 feet.
Okay.
So OP15, where
gotcha.
it says it on the side,
Right,
OP15.
Okay.
So it's 15 feet long without the extension.
Okay.
Come around this way. If we got the room. So I could set this extension up by myself, no problem.
Right.
You can see that there's spares. Those lower, they're on shock assist.
Okay. Well, so that's
You know,
just
so that's a lot of weight, but
Right.
you just pull it down.
Yeah.
One person, easy breezy.
That's cool.
And then this extends and extends. The walls extend, the roof, and it's super easy to do.
Okay. Yeah. So that roof is going to be when you're traveling. It's down.
The roof is down.
This
Windows
is
are closed.
pushed in, so it's more compact when you're traveling.
Yep. And you can see the roof is extended right now. The windows open on top. It's got really good circulation inside because there's so many windows.
Oh, okay.
There's windows galore.
Yeah.
But it is freaking, so far so good. It is very, very cool.
So that's still the bed is behind that window right
yeah,
there. Right?
we'll check it
Okay.
out on the inside here in a second.
Right on.
But that's basically on because there's nothing on this side except for electrical and
Okay.
hoses and
Right.
and.
Well, let's just see where your tanks are.
the tanks.
Yeah.
The you're talking water tanks or
Yeah, your gray, black, and
Yep. So you can see right here the tanks. Those are the water tanks.
Okay.
Right there. So those aren't the dump tanks. And then there's a switch right here, so you could run either the front tank or the rear tank.
Right.
And we could carry 64 gallons of fresh water.
okay.
Which is plenty.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah.
freaking tons. That's going to last us a long
So are
time.
are these hookups then
Yeah,
for the
so
tanks?
yep.
Yeah.
So electrical,
And
and
then-
then water. You just fill it up. You just open those up and fill it up with a hose.
Okay, and then what's that one over there?
Same. That's for the front tank.
Okay.
Water. Yep.
And is that more storage?
Tools and storage.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. And when the roof is down, they just secure.
Right.
With the hooks up
So
there.
does that wind down or is?
I'll show you when we go
Okay.
inside.
Gotcha.
Yep. Show you when we go inside. You want to go inside?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool.